You know exactly what your best life looks like. You can see it, the finished project, the body, the business, the version of you people respect. It's not blurry at all. It's the clearest picture in your head. And yet, here you are, again, phone in hand, tab open, task untouched. There's a name for what you're living through, not laziness. That word is too simple, too cruel, and honestly, too wrong. What you have is a war between two parts of your own mind, and right now, one side is winning almost every single day. Let's start with the part. Nobody tells you. This isn't a character flaw. It's architecture. Your brain has one job above all others: keep you alive, keep you safe, avoid pain. It doesn't know the difference between "this deadline might humiliate me" and "that noise might be a predator." Both get flagged as threats. Both get the same response: retreat. So when you sit down to do the hard thing, a very old part of your brain, the part that evolved long before ambition existed, quietly sounds an alarm. And the fastest way to shut off an alarm is to look away. Pick up the phone, open the fridge, reorganize a folder that didn't need reorganizing. Anything except the thing that matters. Here's the part that stings. Every time you do that, your brain doesn't just avoid discomfort. It learns something. It learns that avoidance works. Psychologists call this a habit loop. A cue, a routine, a reward, looping until it runs on autopilot. The cue is the hard task. The routine is the scroll. The reward is instant relief. Do that enough times, and you're not choosing to procrastinate anymore. You're just running the program. Picture your actual day. You wake up meaning it this time. You open your laptop with real intention. 3 minutes later, you're just checking one notification. 20 minutes after that, you don't even remember opening the app. Lunch arrives, and you promise yourself the afternoon. The afternoon arrives, and you promise yourself tomorrow. By midnight, you're lying there running the same tired monologue. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just do the thing? Tomorrow, I swear it's different. Tomorrow rarely is. Not because you're broken, because a feeling was never going to save you. That's the myth worth killing first. Motivation. You keep waiting to feel ready, energized, inspired, as if that feeling is a prerequisite for starting. It isn't. It's usually the other way around. In behavioral psychology, this is well documented. Action tends to come before motivation, not after it. People who wait to feel like exercising, writing, or working almost never feel like it. People who just start for 2 minutes often find the feeling shows up mid-task, not before it. Which brings us to the second myth, perfectionism. You tell yourself you're just holding out for the right conditions, the right plan, the right moment. But look closer, and it isn't a standard. It's a shield. If you never really try, you never really fail. Your dream stays untested, which means it stays undefeated. Perfectionism isn't ambition wearing a nice outfit. It's fear, dressed up to look responsible. And underneath that fear is something you probably haven't said out loud. You're scared that if you actually gave it everything and it still didn't work, you'd have to sit with the possibility that you're not as exceptional as you privately hoped. That's a heavier thing to carry than any deadline. So the brain offers you a trade. Stay in the fantasy. Keep it flawless in your head. Never let reality touch it. Here's the correction you need. Failure was never the opposite of success. Inaction is. A failed attempt still teaches your brain something, still moves a muscle, still leaves data behind. A day of nothing teaches you nothing except how to do nothing again tomorrow. Every person you admire has a graveyard of failed attempts behind them that's longer than your list of attempts. Period. The difference was never talent. It was repetition. So how do you actually interrupt the loop? Shrink the task until refusal feels ridiculous. There's a simple, well-known rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, the resistance to starting almost disappears. Don't commit to write the report. Commit to open the document and write 1 sentence. Your brain doesn't fight small. It fights big, vague, and endless. Redesign your environment before you try to redesign your willpower. Willpower is a limited, unreliable resource, but environment runs in the background all day without needing your attention. Put the phone in another room. Close every tab that isn't the one you need. Make the productive choice the default choice, not the one you have to fight for every single time. Cut the input, not just the output. You're probably consuming more content about becoming disciplined than time spent being disciplined. Watching, reading, and listening about change can feel like progress while functioning as its replacement. At some point, the information you need drops to 0, and the action you need stays exactly where it was. Expect the first version to be bad, on purpose. Nobody's rough draft looks like the finished thing. The people who eventually get good let themselves be bad in public. On the page, in the gym, in the pitch. Long before anyone was impressed. Waiting for competence before you start is backwards. Competence is the result of starting badly, repeatedly. Plan for the fall, not just the streak. You will skip a day. You will have a week that falls apart. That's not proof the system failed. It's proof you're human. What separates people who change from people who stay stuck isn't a perfect record. It's what they do the day after the bad day. Get back to the task. Don't turn one missed day into a manifesto about who you are. Drop the guilt. It was never fuel. Lying awake, hating yourself for a wasted day doesn't produce tomorrow's discipline. It produces tomorrow's avoidance. Because now the task is tangled up with shame, and shame is even harder to approach than boredom was. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to someone you actually wanted to see succeed. Self-compassion research consistently shows the same thing. Discipline coaches eventually learn the hard way. People who are kinder to themselves after a setback try again faster than people who punish themselves for it. None of this requires you to become a different person. It requires you to stop outsourcing your identity to a feeling that was never coming on schedule. You are not lazy. Lazy was never a personality. It was a loop built by repetition, and loops can be rebuilt the same way they were built. One small, unglamorous, unmotivated action at a time. Close this. Don't open another video about becoming disciplined. Open the one document, the one page, the one task you've been circling for weeks. Give it 2 minutes. That's it. That's the whole ask. Everything else you're capable of starts on the other side of that one small action you keep avoiding.